It's the only right thing to do, to have institution here that can help us empower our police officers. It's any kind of training, including the ones directly relevant to your career, but also team building exercises, which is also important. You know, it's said that a leader is derived from an Old English laden, which means to show the way, to be ahead like a shepherd being followed by the sheep. I thought it was important because at the level of your leadership in the county level, we train leadership at every level, but at your level, leadership is extremely important because you are now the top cream of the leaders in the National Police Service in the different cadre, and from here is where we get our next IG, next DIGs, and so forth, and commanders in different places. So it's important to keep putting in place our skills and reminding ourselves. Sometimes also we think that I went through this kind of training also as a cabinet secretary, and I came to realize that there is no time you will say, now finally I've learned enough about leadership, so it's enough, let's do the job. Such opportunities of reflection gives us the opportunity to think through whether, and you know, since you will be thinking about it as an individual, it reminds you to think about certain things. So, and as I said, as we go through this, it's just a moment of reflection. Some of the things I'll be repeating, which other speakers have done before, and others will be issues that you have already learned in different parts. So leadership is about leadership. There is no leadership without followers. An individual, for example, in a desert alone cannot be a leader. There must be somebody to lead. So someone said a leader without a follower is just a guy out for a walk. Does it mean you can be doing the right thing, but if people don't get you, then you are alone? How do you make disciples or followers? How do you make the followers leaders? So so on your own, you are not a leader. Okay? Until you can convert somebody, you cannot be a leader. And if you are not followed also, there is nobody you are leading. You could be doing the right thing, that's fine. You are a good man there somewhere. But until people appreciate your goodness and they follow you, then you are not yet a leader. And people have even gone further to define, so leadership must have followership, let me put it that way. And I'm saying some people have gone further to define whether a leader by itself is a positive virtue, or until you put the you say a good leader or a bad leader, on whether you can say there's a bad leader or a good leader, and that is debatable. And this is a story that I picked from some book, that an Arab guide was once showing a group of tourists around the Holy Land. On one of their coach trips, he alluded to this tradition of the Palestine shepherd walking in front of his flock. While he was speaking, the tourists spotted a man in the distance driving a small flock of sheep with rather a menacing stick. Just as a whole school children love to prove their teacher wrong, they pointed the figure out to the guide. He immediately stopped the bus and rushed off across the field. A few minutes later, he returned, his face beaming. He announced, "I have just spoken to the man. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not a shepherd. He is in fact a butcher." So you get the joke here. While this man was telling them, you know, a leader is that who is followed by the sheep. He's a good shepherd. He found himself in a situation because he saw somebody using a stick and chasing livestock and sheep. And then so somebody told him, no, your story is theoretic. There is also a shepherd chasing his sheep. And so he was told that was a butcher, not a shepherd. So the question we should ask ourselves, if you are a police commander, you know, you are leading, even if it's an OCS in his station, even if it is OCPD, or you are a county commander, and all the time for people to do things, you have to use force, you have to shout, you have to be there physically. You might have to call into question your leadership skills, because it must be that you should reach a stage where you build a team so that everybody is following the direction that you show. That is where leadership is, and we'll be discussing what are some of the factors that make you a better leader, a better person that can easily be followed. And so a leader is a shepherd, and the shepherd is followed by a sheep. Some of you are, and this one is a butcher, as we all agreed. You can even see he's wearing red. He's chasing the sheep. So we all agree that some of you are operating from operation area, and you know a very good shepherd or somebody taking care of their livestock. You know what pastoralists are with their sheep, goats, or cows, or camels. You know the one who has, you can even tell the one who has stolen and the one who has lived with their livestock, because you can see that there is a personal interaction and relationship with the sheep, the goats, or the livestock. And that's why it is important to know that when you are leading a people, when I was going for the coast trip the other week, it is easy to tell who is the county police commander who is in good relationship with his officers, who is a county commissioner, who is respected because of his work. Because people will follow you if you provide leadership. You will be that good shepherd. Leadership is an art of accomplishing more than science of management says is possible. So leadership goes beyond management. Anybody else can manage. You can manage something, a situation. You can technically be qualified to provide management. But leadership goes beyond that, because leadership is making what is considered, it's conquering new territories. You know, there are people, again, this is an example for you. Sometimes we come to a place, you have come, the president has come, or myself, or any other leader, and they are asking you, why can't we do it this way? Why can't we deploy our officers this way? Why can't we manage this situation differently? And, you know, a number of people will say, no, this is how it has been done since 1970s. That is not leadership. Hiyo ni mtu tu wako kwa kibarua. Hakuna uongozi hapo, hakuna imaginations, hakuna nothing. So it's important to think for us that we need to broaden our imagination. Leadership is a process by which a person influences others to accomplish an objective and directs the organization in a way that makes it more cohesive and coherent. And this is part of what you have gone through in your leadership. You must be able to push for a team to work together. Until your team is working together, the first job of any person who is a leader, the first assignment is to see who are you working with and who is doing what where. Honestly, if I call you and you are a county commander, I have come to this ministry recently. I call you and I ask you, can you give me the number of the person who is managing sub-county X? And you are telling me, hata sijui ni nani, let me see, just give me a minute, let me look for. Then there is a problem there. It's like me in the ministry being asked about the PS, the senior directors, the CEOs, and then I tell them, I don't even know nani anasimamia hapo, ngoja niulize PA yangu. It means you are just completely off. So it's important to work together. The first assignment is not, there is no assignment that is accomplished without the human resource itself. You need them. You have to know who they are and what are they doing and how are they doing. And you will realize later, part of the reason why we have a challenge of mental health even in the national, among the junior police officers, is because their seniors do not even know who they are. They don't even care to understand who are these people, who am I working with. You don't know about their families. You don't even know whether they are married or not. So you are an OCS, and there is no OCS here, but for that example, you are an OCS, you have only 15 officers, but you don't know exactly what they go through. And therefore, every time they ask you for permission to go and see a relative, it tells you, my grandmother has died, I want to go for the funeral. You are like, no. The permission does not extend to grandmothers. But if you had been interacting with that officer, you realize that the only person he has is the grandmother. He could have been brought up by the grandmother, and he has no father, mother. That is the only relative they have. You know, they ask you for permission to go and bury the cousin. You are like, no. You cannot. The permission does not extend to cousins. But you didn't realize that maybe he has no parents. He grew up with his cousins in their uncle's home. Had you been interacting with these people and appreciating who they are, you will then be easily say, sorry, 3 days is okay, go, come back. When that person comes back, he feels like he's cared for at workplace, and he feels that he has a leader. So leadership is about building a team to accomplish an objective that you have. Leadership is action, not position. There are many people who are not police commanders, but they are the leaders. There are many people who are not the cabinet secretary, but in the ministry they provide leadership. There are people who are not members of parliament, but in their constituency they are considered leaders. So leadership is not the holding of the position. The power alone cannot make you a leader. It simply makes you a boss or an occupant of an office. When you move beyond the holding of the position, the actions you do, the things you do makes you a leader. A group of workers and their leaders are, let me just give you this story, that there was a team that wanted to provide a road to go to a port, a new port. And then, they sat together and agreed that this is the way to go. Then they organized the labor. They started cutting grass, digging the road, only for one person. So as they continue, and they're saying they are going to the seaport. Only for one person to climb a tree and see. And then told people, no, this is the wrong way. The seaport is on this side. What you are doing is not the right direction. And that is the person who surveyed that direction and see that this is not the way. That is the leader. The rest are managers, the rest are workers, the rest are officers. They are technical people. But their leader is the one who stood on top of a tree, who asked himself this question: what if we are clearing this bush to nowhere? Just for the sake of it. So leadership is that ability to have a foresight. So what is then transformative leadership? Because that we want to talk about. We are saying that it is a leadership approach that causes change in individuals and social systems. If you want to be a transformative leader, you must be that leader who is causing change in people's lives. When people meet you and they work with you, what do they say about you? What do they take home? What do they say for the period I served with so and so? These are the things I learned. There are people who serve with people, don't care, they come to office, leave, ask umeenda kazi, umerudi, umefunga, kwaheri, But there are people who will tell you, when I was serving with Mr. Kamau in this station, that is when I learned that farming is a good thing. It's something else. It has nothing to do with policing, but you influence that person to the extent that you told them, even me, I'm farming maize. If you can do this in your small farm, it may make a difference to you. It means that you have touched that life of that person, or you have changed the systems in a place. There are police officers whom they go to a county, and you go there and people are saying, we don't want so-and-so to leave. They tell us to the face, please don't transfer so-and-so. And I keep telling them, this is the person to be transferred. Because if he's very good, this is the person who will go and solve other problems elsewhere. So we need to have, to be able to influence others, to create valuable and positive change, with the goal of developing followers into leaders. If you leave an office, and there's no one who can occupy, you are not a leader. If after you leave an office and your successor is worse than yourself, it is a measure of your failing leadership. That is a fact. And for those of you who like football like me, and who are supporters of football, I am a supporter of Manchester United. And I expect many people to support Manchester United. So you grew up at a time when Manchester United was Manchester United. The Manchester United have a very historic leader, Paul Alex. Made a big difference in the club, changed the club, won 12 Premier League, and did a lot of work for this. But he has one thing. He never let us success. So from the day he left, we've been changing coaches from one coach to another. You know? From 4 years to now Armory. Now the question we ask ourselves, whose failure was this? It is his failure that first he left Accra. He was there for 25 years. And then started one day just weeks ago. From 93 to 25 years. And then he leaves abruptly, rushes to pick some coach of the next club. He had so many Manchester United players who he should have brought them to his refuge. And should have mentored them so that then they can be leaders. So we're asked to celebrate Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm among the people who blame Sir Alex Ferguson for the problems we have today because he did not leave leader behind him. So you can be a very good police officer, very good in where you are the manager. But if that leads to a situation where you cannot develop a single model, you will not influence a single person to make a difference, you will have failed in your own leadership. And so the most important part of this is followers. And transformative leadership enhances motivation, morale, and performance of followers through a variety of methods. One coach in football, again, let me use this coach. In his early years, particularly when he was the coach of Chelsea, Jose Mourinho was celebrated as one of the greatest leaders as a coach. But what he used to do, it was not so much about the football tactics. The football tactics, yes, were there. And since all the time people are realizing that how he plays. But at that particular time, both in Chelsea and in Inter Milan, he focused on motivation, morale, and morality. Then it led to the performance. Motivation people, when he quotes Drogba, he used not to say Drogba, he said has served as a police officer in Carolina. In an operational area, he was born in Seattle. His first post is Carolina. And he's moved from Tarariva, Holland. Then he's moved to some corner, a place called Tarasa. In the same place. He moved from there and he has been there for 15 years. When they went, they were 19 years or 20. In his mind, he knew that he's thinking, and I've told this story, and maybe it is true, that in the mind of this officer, he believed that in the past 5 years, in any case, I don't need a wife, I don't need to get married. By 25, I was settled that I can now get married. And he was happy that he was sent to an operation area. But 10 years down the line, he's still there. He was 20, now he's 30. 15 years down the line, he's moving to 35 years. So I was told that some of the officers, around this, I was told that some of the officers then became pragmatic. They said, oh, to be the upper. He was also part of the party, they didn't move out and transfer. He didn't really be one of the father. The characteristics of the wife always mind and one mind the day after. That person cannot give you any results. They're just keeping their job. And that person will struggle with mental health. You can now explain why they are facing mental health challenges. Because what has been done is wrong. So, what is the job of the leader? The IGs and answer of us. Transfer after every 3 years. You move someone from there, you take them to Naro. If you go to Naro, if you go to West Pokot, they come back to Nairobi. Then, as they approach retirement, as they approach 50, 53, 54, 55, you ask them, where are you planning to retire? You take them closer to where they will retire. That person is motivated, but also the person behind is also motivated. They know that as you progress, the government will be considerate. Unless you are a leader like yourself, the rest of the officer, if someone is an inspector and is 56 years old, we will try to get him back then at retire, or the nearest town, or a more accessible place. That way, you are able to motivate. And you will not motivate that single officer. No, you will motivate those who are behind. They know for sure that if I'm sent to Kibish, there is no problem. I'll be in Kibish for some years. For 3 years, I will have learned my country. But he knows the 3 years, like each other has 3.5, I'll be moved from that place to another corner. That enough changes. So how do you do this? You must have connected the followers. You must connect the followers to a sense of identity, self to the vision and collective identity of the organization. People must know. People must know. People must know. Let's have a few of them. People must know what is this National Police Service trying to achieve. We must all know. The whole National Police Service. What is it trying to achieve? Must know. There must be a collective rallying call. Kama ni utumishi kwa wote. Yeah? It must enter into all of us to say, it is utumishi kwa wote. Meaning that I will not serve my tribe, my region, my whatever. Everybody will be treated equally. You must, as a leader, be a role model to the followers. Inspire them. Challenge the followers to take greater ownership of their work. Tell them, this is your job. I depend on you. I want us to shine, for our police station to be better. I depend on you. Let's work together. Understanding the strength and weakness of followers, so that the leader can align followers with tasks. Don't force somebody to do something he cannot do. Yeah, of course, everybody who has trained as a police officer, as a constable, has a certain responsibility. But then there is a way you deploy them there in different, as they progress. You must understand who they are. It decides perceptions and values and changes expectations and aspirations of the followers. You must drive the people you work with to the direction you want to. So where does the ability to lead come from? I'll not dwell on this one. This is fairly theoretical.
There are people who say leadership is a rare talent, somebody is born with, it is true. There are people who are just born leaders. Yeah, born leaders. But not necessarily that they will be like leaders throughout. Without any skills and capacity building, they may not succeed. But you can tell a child the difference, even with your own children at home, that this one is more predisposed to activities in taking up leadership responsibilities. And then leadership is a skill honed through practice and study. Then people also become leaders by studying, by being coached, by being guided, and they have become leaders. And then the leadership as a position held and a power that goes with it. Sometimes it's just a position. Somebody has been thrust to a position, and then because he's holding that position, then he's the leader. And in some cases where somebody has been thrashed and they do not have the necessary qualification, watu wanavumilia wanasema sasa tufanye nini, si ni yeye ndio amewekwa. So saa yote unaona watu wanasema sio mambo yake. Kitu anasema tufanyie ile jamaa mambo yake, because the rest of the members don't follow. And then there is leadership as situational. Leaders emerge in a situation, in different situations. You will see a leader emerging because of a different crisis or situations. There is also people who see leadership as a talent. Everyone has inherent talents that he or she is born with, but they will have also, as I said, training to practice and study. Leadership, one writer called Henry Bismarck said leadership is like swimming, cannot be learned by reading about it. You must be able to do it. You cannot also say, I'm waiting until I become a leader, then I become a leader. A leader is slowly being built by being thrust certain responsibilities. So if you want one day to rise, definitely this is how to go about. Leadership is not conferred or ordered, but is earned or to be earned. Key qualities of a good leader. First is visionary. The ability to create a shared vision among the team. I have already said this. This is a very primary trait of a true leader. That's Murkomen once said. If you can be able to create a shared vision, you can sit in a place and say, we want to make sure that in few months, you see, if you are a county police commander, you are going to a county. Your first assignment is not just to go and sit there. Your first assignment is to know who is everywhere. Up number two, the other second assignment is what are the problems in this county? Yeah. Number three, or you state even before you go problems, you say who are the stakeholders in this county? So you know they are political stakeholders. So you get to know who are MPs, who are MCAs, who are the governor, who is the senator. You know them. Those who are good, you win them as who are your allies. Because you are trying to achieve a certain objective, you get them to your side. You ask yourself, what are the other strategic partners? The county security team led by the county commissioner. So national administration team, back a chief. Then you study, you understand in the corner where there is a problem, who is the chief there and why is this happening? You don't have to wait for the county commissioner to tell you. You know there is drugs in certain corner, or you know there is sexual offenses are higher, like we saw in Taita Taveta when we went there. You have to ask yourself, who is in which location and how can we deal with this issue? That way, you know, you have a shared vision. Then you can sit down and say, my plan for the period I serve here, whether it's a year, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 3 years, we want to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to leave Kitui County having left the following legacy. You have to have a plan. That is what leadership is. As Winston Churchill says, the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. You have to have a vision. You have to think of what you want to do. The person who does not know where he wants to go, there is no favorable wind. Mtu mwenye hapo tu management by crisis. Unaambiwa ng'ombe imeibiwa upande huu, unaenda kwa ng'ombe. Kidogo kidogo unaambiwa upande huu kuna maandamano, unaenda maandamano. After your period of time unajiuliza, and what exactly were we doing hapo? Sasa wewe kuuliza tulisema maandamano siku moja ilikuwa pale, tuliorudisha ng'ombe ilikuwa pale. But if you know that this is a cattle rustling region, you must put your plan there and say, every day when you wake up in the morning, you need to ask yourself, where are the bandits and why are they still there? And what can we do? So because you are at a certain level of leadership, you cannot be the only one who is going to pacify. You should move further to say,
Mheshimiwa Kam, ile barabara ukifanya tutamaliza mambo ya banditry. Hii shule ikijengwa tutamaliza mambo ya banditry. Sisi tutakusaidia saa hii kupacify, lakini jenga shule, wacha watoto waende shule. That way, you know where you are going. That's I'm trying to say, we must go beyond the ordinary. We must go beyond a job. We must have a vision. In fact, it should have been possible. I don't know, at some point, the National Police Service should be able to hold the county commanders into account by telling them, by giving everybody, when you report to your station, you are given 1 month to prepare your strategic plan and TORs, the objectives you are going to achieve. So that, there is something you look up to. I know some of you have done it out of your own initiative. But maybe the idea, as we progress going forward, there must be a mechanism that allows these leaders to set up the agenda when they arrive in a particular place. And then they can, and when you leave notes that show that I have made progress up to here. It can be picked from there to certain direction. The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. So all of this is about imagination, it's about vision. Sorry, I'm going slowly. I think we should move faster. That is Robert Kennedy. So visionary leader is that the transformation leader articulates a vision that is appealing and inspiring to the leaders. He or she challenges followers on life standards, communicate optimism about the future goals, and provide meaning of the task at hand. You cannot be a visionary leader who has given up. No matter what hii mambo ya hii wizi ya ng'ombe inaisha kwa everybody gives up in that sense. Yeah, but the one, you must give people hope. Tell them we are about to be there. We are, we are almost there. We are almost there. I can see the promised land. Like Martin Luther King. In his last week, I came to the last week. I see the promised land. I may not go there with you. Yeah? But I tell those people that, you will go. I may be king, but you will go. So you must have a sense of hope to people. Unajua sasa ukienda kaunti fulani mimi nilikuwa I was OCPD wakati tulimaliza mambo ya wizi ya ng'ombe huko Turkana. Nimefika sasa hapa nataka kuambia we must finish this thing here. Naona watu wanaanza kusema they will never listen to you. Ukifika useme nimesikia mnaibiana ng'ombe hapa. Hii ni shauri yenu mimi. Mimi natoka watu wanaenda mashule substitute that does not support cannot motivate people. The leader supports visionary aspects with communication skills that make the vision understandable, precise, powerful, and engaging. When people say communication skills, there are people who speak very slowly, but they are better communicators than they want to shout. There are people who don't speak good English, who even have bad English. They cannot even speak good English. They have a very heavy mother tongue influence, but they are better communicators than those who speak good English. And poetry and stories. Because communication is not so much about the diction and it is about the heart. People, when you are communicating, it's not what you are saying that matters. I'm still saying us, but even those of us who have been in politics here, and those who are in politics now, the reason why people get elected is not so much about how they talk and so forth. If you see, have you ever seen a politician who is not even known in Kenya, doesn't even speak much in Buke, but at home anachaguliwa all the time? Na ni mtu anaongeaga polepole, so unaenda ile mtu unasema na huyu anachaguliwa aje? It's because people, he is connecting with the people because of his heart. There is a personal connection to it. So you must find a way of communicating properly with the people to understand what you're doing, what you have to. The followers are willing to invest more effort in their tasks. They are encouraged and optimistic about the future and believe in their abilities. And many people, by the way, there are some county commanders, OCPDs and so forth, that go and turn the locals to work for them. Because of who they are, they're just a good guy. You know, these are good people. So the locals start saying, tusiaibishe kwa OCPD bwana. Huyu mtu anatusaidia sana. Huyu mtu anatutakia mazuri. Yani, you know, people work for you because they realize that you mean well. So visionary leader, you can see this guy, the assumption here is that he's asking himself, how can we connect this and that one? Yeah? Or maybe he's asking, what is beyond those clouds? Yeah. Somebody who can imagine a greater future. Second characteristic is the character. A good leader is the one who has integrity. The respect that leadership must have requires that one's ethics be without question. A leader not only stays above the line between right and wrong, he stays well clear of the gray areas. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give them power. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands in terms of challenge and controversy. So character is extremely important. Character. You must, nobody, let me tell you, hakuna mtu ata respect any county commander who is known that he's taking bribes. Hakuna. It's a waste of time. Hakuna askari hata atasikia mambo yako. Itakuwa tu, anajua tu, na hakuna mwenye atakuwa chini hapa atafanya kazi. If you have a county where, let me tell you, if you have any county or any sub-county where the county commander or the OCPD is taking bribe, hakuna kitu itafanyika. And especially where he's taking bribe that is escalated from the junior officers. Kila mtu atakuwa hapo chini tu anasema, unauliza anasema, unajua ya commander lazima ifike. Lazima ni escalate ya mkubwa. Unajua kwa hii maneno iko ya mkubwa. You must, this is the area that we struggle with the National Police Service, is character. Yeah, and not just National Police Service, the whole country. Yeah, if I go to a ministry today that I'm the Minister for Interior, and my job there is to look for deals. Yeah, and my job is napigia mtu namwambia iko ngapi hapo. Kuna mtu atafanya kazi? Si everybody ataiba alafu aweke ya waziri kando, alafu yake ya bebe akiendanga. The first thing that happens to all of us here, you go to a new county, we are sending you there because we have drug loads and drug peddlers. The first thing unafika county wanakutembelea. Karibu sana mkubwa. Na wewe unajua umepewa hata intelligence report. Mkubwa mzuri sana. Nini. Tunatembelea OCPD, wanatembelea nini. There will be nothing. So character is everything. If we get this character right as a national police, we are good. And as a country. So this is what happens. The fruits yenye uko juu kwa tree uko, hii thoughts ni trunk. Uko juu ni fruits. Your fruits is very good, lakini it is founded on how deep the values are. Those values will determine whether we will have good fruits or bad fruits. It will determine whether you will stand out for long or you will collapse on the way. Okay, you don't need this moral dilemma. Leaders as a role model. This is what we are saying. You must be a role model. You must provide for. You must be ahead. If you have a commander who doesn't even go operation even once, yeah, he's never even gone to any operation even once, even when it's large scale, or has never even visited an operation area, people will not be able to believe. If you are telling people we have pacified, Tiatit now is safe, lakini hujawahi kanyaga Tiatit, yeah? Or you are saying Samburu is clean. Now you are saying Mukokoda forest now we have sorted, where you are in Laikipia, and you've never gone to Mukokoda forest. You never even stepped there. Ukiambia twende unasema uko ni hatari. Na unaambia watu security iko sawa. There has to be, you have to lead by example. You have to be a high ethical behavior. You instill pride, gains respect and trust. And then you build and affirm shared values, and you align your actions with your values. This was, a leader also must be inspiring. Nelson Mandela, because of his sacrifice to his country alone, that was very inspiring. By forgiving those who hurt him, he inspired. You must have empathy. You must have a leader who has empathy. Must be a leader that attends to each follower's needs, acts as a mentor or a coach to the follower, and listens to the follower's concerns and needs. You listen to people. Yeah. I know police ni kitu serious, lakini wacha kupigia watu kelele throughout. Mtu akuje wewe nani unasema wewe. It's not necessary, you know. I don't think to be a successful police officer you should be that noisy. Yeah? You need to listen to people. Listen to people. You know, this is I'm still learning, but this is a very organized regimental kind of sector. And so a constable cannot do this and that and that. But you must create time to sit down with constables. Yeah? Your constables there, listen to them. You must be, I always get very motivated when a county commander tells you, there's a very nice constable who works very hard. Hajakuwa promoted for a long time. So naomba usaidie hiyo kijana. You know, hiyo kijana huko anatoka Turkana, lakini nimefanya kazi na yeye hapa Kwale. Tusaidie. When we went the other day to Kilifi, you know, just out of that interaction we had, yeah, county, what we call Chukwala Usalama, in the county, somebody just proposed, an MP or was it an MCA if I'm not wrong, that there are some 4 police officers. Yeah, it was an MP, I think the MP of Rabai. Sema kuna officers wako huko wamelewa throughout for the last how many years. And then went ahead and said, bana, pelekeni hao hospitali or rehab. Before the next day, the regional commander, Mr. Nuno, had already moved them to a rehabilitation. You know, just imagine what that does to the other police officers. It motivates them to say somebody can look at the plight of these people and take a positive direction. So be empath, kuwa mtu mwenye ako na utu, kuwa na roho ya watu. Kabla hujakuwa na roho ya inji, kuwa na roho ya wenye unafanya kazi na hao. Huwezi kuongoza inji na huwezi kuongoza kwako. Kwanza hata Biblia inasema kwako sasa. Even in your own home, be empathic to people, empathetic to others. Keep communication open and place challenges before the followers. Let people, don't wacha kuogopa kuwa criticize sana. Just allow people to come and tell you, mkubwa ningependa hii fanywe. And people are sharp. They will tell you in a very nice way. Even when they are telling you, you are very foolish. They will come and tell you, mkubwa, unajua kama tungefanya like this, mimi naona kama, yeah, because of your pride, you can tell them, okay, nimesikia lakini wewe enda fanya kazi. Labda uende ufanye vile amekwambia, because it make the whole difference. Leader encompasses the need for respect and celebrate the individual contribution for each follower can make to them. The followers have a will and aspiration for self-development and have instinctive motivation for their task. You know, there are people who think that if you praise another person, you lose something. Okay? If you are a county commander and you praise OCPD, there are some people who think that if you come and tell the minister or the IG, huyo OCPD anafanya kazi nzuri, huyo atachukua kazi yako. No, it most likely it will improve that life of that person, but most likely that will put you even one step ahead. Because the same person who did the promotion remembers that you are the one who made him recognize this person, meaning that you are a good leader. As I said, you keep your mind open, be consultative. The leader attends to each follower's needs, acts as a mentor or coach to the followers and listens to the followers' concerns and needs. The leader gives empathy and support, keeps communication open, as we said, and then leader encompasses the need for respect, celebrate individual contributions that each follower can make to them, and there is motivation. A servant leader can share leadership, they value people, they develop people, they provide leadership, they display authenticity, and build their community. All these values will make you a servant leader. Develop other people, provide leadership, do some community work where you are, touch some people's lives. Some of you go to church or mosque in where you are, may be part and parcel of that community. You will collect more information and so forth. Servant leadership is recognizing even those who are weaker. That story that is written there is of a lady. There was a building in a cathedral, and everybody was wondering, and there was a prize to be given when the cathedral is finished. So people wondered whether it's the architect who will take the prize, whether it was the carpenter, whether it was the person who's doing grill work and so forth, or whether it was going to be the quantity surveyor and so forth. But at the end of the day, the prize went to a lady who had been faithfully carrying hay to the ox, the ox that was pulling the marble for stone cutter. So it was not the stone cutter that was rewarded, but this lady who was carrying hay all the day to feed the ox. The same way Jesus sat in our church, and so many people were giving, and the best giver was a lady who gave 3 denarii. So that is servant leadership. A ruler is lord over others, a servant is a servant among them. A ruler gives orders, a servant is under order. So you get the people who are below you to understand that wherever you are under order and they are under order, it is not because of your orders. Drives like a cowboy, leads like a shepherd, needs strength to subject, finds strength in submission. So you spend a lot of time for people to be loyal to you because you are not a servant leader. But a servant leader finds strength in submission. By being nice to people, people will respect you. Authoritarian, that's a steward of authority, has gold, makes rules. This one follows the golden rule, follows the rules in the book. Seeks personal advancement. A servant leader seeks to please the master. And the master in this case is the people of Kenya, the constitution, and our country. Expects to be served, and servant always, leader expects to serve others. So there are other leadership styles: authoritarian leaders, autocratic. You have democratic, allows as many people as possible to participate. This one we can learn in future. There is also this kind of leader who kila mtu ni free, utaamua vile utafanya, license fair. Hiyo ni risky. You allow everybody to decide. You must provide guidance. Lastly, let me conclude with this. What are the pillars of transformative leadership? One is that you must develop yourself. Leaders begin by developing their own capabilities so that they will be more effective in developing and leading others. So, lazima ujiite mkutano. Lazima ujiite mkutano kama kiongozi. You have to call a meeting. And you begin to ask yourself, who are you? Unajiambia, niko na strength ya hii, niko na language naweza ongea. Yeah? Lakini kidogo niko na shida ya hasira. So, ukishafika mahali na unaona hasira karibu ikuje, unajiongelesha. You just have to so that becomes your area of weakness. You know that anger is your problem. So you work on anger. And in fact, if you confess to a few friends, they say, nakuanga na hasira mbaya, watakusaidia. Because people know what they will do. That's just one example. If your problem is communication, you are not very good in speaking, you can work on it. Read books, do what, and you'll improve your communication in the fullness of time. You are fearing, unajiambia, I would have been an inspector general in future, lakini hii kuongea sijui kuongea sana mzuri. But you have the time. That's why there is this school, and there are other people who can help you in different parts. The problem is to hide. You walk to someone and say, I want to improve my communication skills. Can you get me someone who can guide me? Then that person gives you books, helps you in pronunciation. Sisi wote, mtu kama mimi tumetoka wapi? Tulikuwa tunatoka mahali penye mwalimu ajui Kiingereza, lakini anakufunza Kiingereza. So in class, he is the one who is telling you, haya andikeni notes, Nimesema ni P ya baba. Na anasikwambia P ya pencil. So unajua ni V. So how did we survive on the way? By continuously improving yourself. So the first thing is to acknowledge that there is an issue and I want to develop myself. I want to develop my skills. I want to go to school. I want to do this. I want to improve on this. You constantly work on your, I want to interact with certain people. You are a county commander. You have a great benefit to sit with all kinds of leaders in different places. You can benefit. You are sitting there in the county headquarters. You have the county planner. You have the county economist. You have the county agricultural officer. You have the whatever. You have an opportunity in your free time to have free advice on how to improve your farm. You have a lot of human resource around here that can make you a better person. Yeah? So, lakini wewe unatoka tu field. Watu wanajua kwa county ukishatoka field ni ile bar iko kona silent bar alafu nyumbani or something like that. You can use all that free time to develop yourself. Number 2, develop your team. Transformational leadership is able to build a capability and commitment of the people they need. Please, don't go to a place, don't sit yourself, don't also wait for others to fail, and don't always complain about people. By the time you complain about people, you should have done everything you can do. So work on your team. You can make somebody a better person. That is also a mark of leadership. Wherever you will be, you can make those people better. Don't go there and say, I'm going to team buy. Call your people and tell them, jameni, nataka tukutane Ijumaa. Start 2 hours. Sama jameni, hii kazi lazima to succeed wote. Wewe usucceed, mimi succeed. So to succeed wote, we work like this. Tutakuwa tunakutana kila wiki once a day, tunakutana asubuhi saa moja and then for 1 hour. And if saa moja ukuje saa moja because you are trying to lead by example. If you go saa mbili saa tatu, they will become saa sita in future because they realize you are not a serious person. The other is develop collaborative relationship. With strong team now in place, transformative leadership create true value through trust, creativity, innovation, and win-win approach. Make sure that everybody is given that chance. And then number 4, develop sustainable growth. Transformative leaders grow the polity and build constituent value around the people you are working with. In conclusion, Dr. Miles Munroe said that the wealthiest place in the world, he was here, he visited here some time back before his unfortunate accident in Bahamas as he was flying from a meeting. Dr. Miles Munroe said that the wealthiest place in the world are not the gold mines of South America or the oil fields of Iraq or Iran. They are not the diamond mines of South Africa or the banks of the world. The wealthiest place on planet is just down the road. It is the cemetery. There lie buried companies that were never started, inventions that were never made, best-selling books that were never written, and masterpieces that were never painted. In the cemetery is buried the greatest treasure of untapped potential. Because people never use the potential right. They die rich. The most important thing is to die empty. To die empty. Die empty meaning that you've given everything that you are supposed to do on earth and make a difference in people's lives. The most scarce resource in the world is not the gold, silver, diamond, or precious stone. The most scarce resource is leadership. People keep asking, some people are being recycled. The same people. It is very difficult to get a leader. It's very difficult to get leaders. It's very difficult. I'm telling you the truth. It's very, very difficult. And I'm speaking now here as a cabinet secretary. It's very difficult to get a leader, to get somebody that is fitting the responsibility you want to give. And that's why it's important for us to be good leaders. You are sitting there, there is no a good police officer, even if they're about to retire. A person who has done a good job will always be utilized even after. Watu wanauliza na tunataka kufanya task force ya police reforms na nani alienda wapi? You know? Na nani anaweza tusaidia kwa njia gani? Because leadership, it's very difficult. And then, you know, for the training you people go through, you just need to add something kidogo, you become very valuable. Just need a little bit of discipline, a little bit of interpersonal relationship, a little bit of kujituma tu kidogo, and for sure you become a very, I wish DIG, when the next recruits are done and they are still in Kiganjo, where I like to talk to them. Yeah, I like to talk to them. Yeah, I like to talk to a number of them, because leadership is something that you have to go. People sometimes say the university, to the day I left, yeah, because maybe because of where I came from, I wanted to be ready for anything, prepared. And so even you team is enough to be trained here. That university is enough here alone to start with. The greatest opportunity to influence leadership in the community will be used. And those of you who have gone ahead, those who have gone ahead of you have made a great difference and contribution.